A week or so ago I was actually searching through some of the more bizarre documents released by the Freedom of Information Act when I came across a download link for a folder just nestled in between some of the various case files. Interest was had, and I downloaded it. Contained within my little mystery folder were hundreds, possibly even over 1,000 case files not shown on the regular FOIA site. I browsed through a couple and noticed a few things immediately. Every document was written by a group with a federal designation of Organization 440. That every case took an intense and rather serious approach to paranormal entities, and that there's literally no rhyme nor reason for the order of the files. I'm going to make a serious attempt to type out these case files and find more information on the group and people mentioned in the documents. No sleep? Prepare yourselves for information I don't think we were meant to know. Secrets.
Case file 001-653. Case file date June 24th, 1981. Location Birmingham, Oregon. Subject Randy Smith. Entity The Lightning Man. The following report comes from several crumpled sheets of paper found at the residence of Mr. Smith.
We have a legend in our town. One of those little local folk tales. The Lightning Man. The story goes that the Lightning Man is some kind of ghost or something. Spooky paranormal shit. Whatever. Every town has creepy stuff. Anyways, people have been seeing the Lightning Man for years during, well, lightning storms. Someone would look out a window and pow! Flash of lightning, figure in the distance. Most people usually describe him as a tall, humanoid figure made up entirely of nerves and muscle. I guess that it makes sense. Lightning is electrical and nerves deal with electricity or something of that nature. I don't know, not a medical student or anything. So yeah, he's this tall, sinewy creature, arms longer than nature usually permits, claw-like hands, definitely a stuff of nightmares creature. But the trademark thing that every Lightning Man story has in it is the eyes. Most people describe them as two balls of electricity resting in the eye sockets that left a haunting afterimage in its wake. Up until a few weeks ago, it really was just a story for me. I moved out of my parents' house and got myself an old house on the edge of town. It wasn't perfect, but the price was right, so I couldn't complain. It isn't anything special. 2 stories, medium-sized house. Quite a lot of room for one guy. The real draw for me was the fields though. My house is surrounded by fields on 3 sides, and after that they end in forest. I enjoyed the earthy feel, gave off a different feel than the more urban surrounding I had at my parents' house. The creepy shit started up maybe 2 weeks ago. I was sitting at home watching TV one night, the Weather Channel. Thing is, the weatherman said that we were having record highs for temperature and were in a drought. Look outside and there was a heavy storm, like the kind that topples stuff on your porch and makes the house creak non-stop. And it definitely wasn't hot. If anything, I would say it was unseasonably cold. Definitely weird, but I shrugged it off as a freak storm that hadn't quite hit town yet. Finally got tired and head upstairs to my bedroom, walked by my window and flash of lightning. My window looks out one of the fields, and right at the edge of the field, where it met up with the border of the forest, I thought I saw him. Standing, lumbering maybe. It was really quick, so I thought I was crazy. But when I looked away in the darkness of the room, I still had 2 small dots of light burned into my vision temporarily. Like any rational man, I shrugged it off and went to bed. I didn't give it a second thought. I woke up to more lightning. It was still really dark outside, so I figured I had gotten maybe an hour or 2 of sleep. Looked at my alarm. 8 o'clock. It was the morning. First thing I did was throw on the news. At this point I assumed we were getting a freak storm and I wanted to check things out. News was normal. Threw it over to the weather. Hot and sunny. No way. No how. Grabbed my phone and called my parents. Oh, I tried to at least. My phone was dead. Lightning. The storm outside was relentless. I'm sure it had to be bordering on hurricane strength. My male brother Drew won out and I decided to try and brave the storm. I wrestled the door open and fought against the wind and the rain just to take several steps onto my porch. Another flash of lightning, and there he was. Much closer than last night, but still in the middle of the field. I could see that his arms were so long that the clawed fingers actually dug across the ground. This was even more impressive because the lightning man had to be almost 7 feet tall. At least that's what I remember thinking at the time. Hard to really get measure of something when it's still a bit away and only visual for 2, maybe 3 seconds. That was enough to kill my ideas about leaving. I holed up in my house for the rest of the day and fell asleep, huddled up in my bathroom with all the doors locked. The next day was much the same. Actually, the entire week was this way. I'd wake up to find the storm still raging, phone still dead, and the rest of the world oblivious to my little prison. And then, power went out. I spent this entire week fumbling around my house, just trying to survive, hearing the crash of lightning every once in a while. Every time I had to leave the bathroom to get food or to check the weather, I'd have to pass a window. And every time lightning would flash and I'd see those eyes creep closer and closer. The last time I checked, the lightning man was at my window. A few hours ago, the power came back on. Also, the lights have been flickering on and off since. I slowly crept through my house and grabbed a pen and paper. If I'm going to die here, then I want everyone to know exactly what happened. That the lightning man is no legend. He's real. I can only take comfort in the fact that I've blocked off the windows and that no lightning can get in here. I will die eventually, but at least it won't be at the hands of that monster. No, if only the damn lights stopped blinking. Mom, Dad, secrets here. The writing at this point on the paper became very rushed and ran together. I'm typing it out normal for all of our sakes. He's in the house. I don't know how, but he's here. I can see the eyes. And he can see me. Closer. Closer! Run to the other, but claw inside. Felt intense electricity. Hurt. Bad.
The writing stops there. Action taken. 2 agents slipped into the investigation team. They found and concealed the final notes of Mr. Smith. The body was now found and it was made into a missing persons case. Analysis. The lightning man appears to be a spectral entity that does not rely on lightning but on the sudden appearance and absence of light. A flash of light should do. Also, lightning probably sustains a physical form for the being much better than a simple ceiling light. The people of Birmingham most likely associated the entity to lightning due to the light flashes from the storms they commonly receive. As to Mr. Smith's death, he was most likely impaled or ensnared by the claws of the lightning man and electrocuted to death, abducted to whatever plane the beast uses as a lair. The storm that appeared around Mr. Smith's residence may have actually occurred in another plane of existence. Capture of the entity necessary for the theories and answers. The lightning man, subject 653, has been authorized for capture and study under the Paranormal Defense Act. Contact for further information.
Secrets here? Literally the only thing redacted from this document was this name.
Case update. Subject 653 caught and contained at the Northeast Branch. Entity is contained through a complex system of magnets, electric fields and flashing low-light bursts. Constant study and experimentation of Subject 653 will now begin on regular intervals with updates sent via PRB report.
Not sure what PRB stands for.
Case file closed.
So yeah, case file 1. Intense way to start up a series of documents if you ask me. I've scanned through some more. Looks like they have interviews with people, unsolved cases, some facility reports, just stuff. Stuff I knew No Sleep would appreciate. I've got a desire to get all this information out now. The original download location for the file is gone. Not surprising. Personally, I think this folder wasn't supposed to be released to the public. Maybe someone messed up or wanted them to get cuffed? I'll have to keep reading and sharing to know for sure. Stay safe. No Sleep. Secrets.